So today we just got a few questions for you guys. We'll start off with, as TD scholars, do you guys code switch?
Yes. I only code switch when I'm talking to the teacher though. When I'm talking to like my two friends right here, I talk like this. When I'm talking to the teacher, I kind of put some extra articulation in my voice so they can feel like I'm smarter than I actually am.
I agree with that. I also agree with that.
Currently I don't. I feel like I'm just like in an environment where people have like similar backgrounds as me. So I don't feel the need to like code switch, and I often use like slang and AAVE, and I just feel like comfortable with the people around me.
Not gonna lie, not really, but it's like a little bit, because if I'm talking to a professor, I gotta be more professional, you know what I'm saying? Like if I'm talking to my boy right there, I'll say some swearing I was gonna say, but I'm trying to keep it P. I was gonna say some fuck shit. You know what I'm saying? But I can't talk to other people like that because gotta have respect. You feel me?
Not really. Actually, I feel like I've cut loose more since I've been here.
Why do you say that?
Because I have a lot of my friends that I went to high school here, and I'm more comfortable around them. And plus, it's people who are just like me, minorities that aren't white. So yeah.
I don't code switch because I'm in the front of the room and I can set the tone, and also I'm comfortable. I've been doing it since 2002, and so I know that the nervousness is amongst the scholars and not myself. So if I'm myself, then they're themselves, and we're hyper focused on language. So I'm pretty much myself, and then I think that catches on.
Good to see you, man. Oh, yeah.
Got my vote.
Do you guys know the difference between code switching and code meshing?
Code switching, to me, I feel like code switching is completely switching the way you speak. Like you see, as I'm speaking to you, I would probably speak using slang. But speaking to a professor, I'd probably speak more proper. And code meshing, I would probably use a mix of both.
I think the difference between code switching and code meshing, I think with code switching is more about like kind of seeing like the environment that you're in. So for example, like this is a predominantly white school. So like code switching is just trying to fit in with like your white peers, but code meshing is kind of just like mixing up those two dialects. So I often find myself kind of just like, you know, using slang with my friends and stuff like that, but also just talking in like my very white voice, I would say.
Yeah, code switching is when you're trying to be someone else with certain people, like changing who you are, your current environment. You know what I'm saying? Code meshing is like speaking Spanish and English, just like a la capa. You know what I'm saying? That's code meshing. Yes.
Code switching is when you switch the way you speak and the tone of your voice around certain people. And code meshing is like Spanglish and shit like that.
Code switching is like it sounds like a light switch. You turn it on, you turn it off, based on your audience. And code meshing is a blend where you're comfortable enough and you expect people to be accepting, and so you just blend, and you're not 100% yourself as you would be around all of your friends or your peers on a Friday night. But you also know that if you use colloquial language or Gen Z speak, or your dialect is not something that you try to force, you just can be comfortable.
The White House Correspondents' Dinner are important. I mean, really? What is this dinner? And why am I required to come to it? Jeb Bush, do you really want to do this? Because despite our differences, we count on the press to shed light on the most important issues of the day. And we can count on Fox News to terrify old white people with some nonsense. Sharia law is coming to Cleveland, run for the damn head!
Do you guys think code switching affects you positively or negatively?
Positively, it could probably boost my grade depending on how I talk to a professor or teacher. I feel like there's also a time and place for the way you speak. Like you wouldn't want to speak using slang in the professional area for me. So yeah,
contrary to study, I actually think it negatively affects you. Because when you try to put yourself above to try to make yourself align with other people, it kind of takes away your sense of self. Like you stop being yourself just so that you can feel accepted. That's not gonna work for you in the long run because eventually you're gonna burn out.
I think it kind of just like affects me. I would say both, in a way that people always say like, oh, you're able to articulate yourself so well, you talk a certain way, but then also just like there's like negative aspects to that because like, you know, like saying that, oh, I speak so well, like what's kind of just like the meaning of that, or like what are you trying to say about that, you know?
Do you think code switching affects you positively or negatively?
I would say neutral, because like it depends who you code switching for. Like if I'm code switching for you, like we cool, you know what I'm saying? But if I'm code switching to a girl, then I'm trying to be myself. I'm trying to cap to get the cool. You know what I'm saying? But it really depends on the environment and who you're talking to.
Do you think code switching affects you positively or negatively?
Positively, because I know around certain people I have to act a certain way and talk a certain way, and around certain people it's okay to act a certain way that I wouldn't act around certain people.
Now, when would you think it affects you negatively?
Maybe when I'm hanging around my friends and I may act a certain way and they say, you know what,
I feel like code switching is required in extreme circumstances. At a university where a diverse student body is going to enhance everybody's educational experience, we shouldn't code switch. Everybody should be expected to be themselves and speak out again for or against their beliefs. That discourse, I think, will push the whole country forward. More citizens need to do that, to just express themselves in their own way. But then, when you're in a job interview, you can't just be casual and calling out your homie. You have to have a formal tone at certain times.